Good afternoon, racing fans. Welcome to Race Day Preview. It's a 2-day carnival. Sunday is St. Ledger Day. So just be reminded, get out early and let us see if we can make some money. Saturday program, note the time, 12 noon. It's a claiming event, 1 million down to 800,000. 7 furlong, a field of 9. This race is somewhat of a tricky race because you have some horses that are down in class. You have some horses with a lot of back class. So I'm going to go with 5 of them. 1, Easy Peasy. 2, Gilbert. 4, Great Wayne. 5, Anika Bell. 8, Surgeon. Easy Peasy. This horse, since graduated to overnight allowance, has not been doing anything. However, this horse has changed stable. Trainer Baba Nunes is a new conditioner. Figure 8 on Saturday the 21st, 7 furlong in 134. And on Saturday 28th of the 6th, 5 furlong in 105. Easy Peasy is a change-up horse, and I expect Easy Peasy to run a much improved race, and that should be good enough to end up in the winner's enclosure. 2, Gilbert. This horse, since claim for $1 million on the 26th of October, this horse only ran 2 races that you could say is of some worth. 4th by 8.5, so into stride when beaten by March and Shoot on the 9th of November 2024. And on December 7th, 7th by 5.5 when beaten by Milos and March and Shoot. Since then, Gilbert has not done anything. However, down claiming ladder, Tyrese Anderson, 50.5 kilo. I expect Gilbert to run a much improved race and could be the outsider of the party. 4, Great Wayne. This horse is very fit and consistent. Wesley Henry maintains the ride for the 2nd consecutive occasion. On the 6th of April, this horse won by 7 lengths, beating the likes of Nakamura and Rejected Raja. And on the last occasion, 4th by 6 lengths when beaten by Titan Tempo. And I realize Great Wayne is very fit. Wesley Henry, very good rider. Great Wayne should be right there. 5, Anika Bell. This is another horse that, since graduated to overnight allowance, has not raised a gallop. Beat by much better horses. Just to name a few: Fred the Great, Major Danger, Digital One, Champion Bubbler, Impressive Force. Those are far, far superior horses. Anika Bell has an easy task come Saturday, and I expect a much improved race from Anika Bell. 8, Sir John. This is the horse I think they will all have to beat. This horse is very fit, very game consistent. 7-year-old gelding. This horse has 1 bad race since September 15, 2024, and that was on the 18th of January when finished 11 by 24 lengths and beaten by Sonny T and Chippy, and life is life. Since then, Surgeon has been very consistent, and I expect Surgeon with Radish Roman working very well on the 8th of the 6th, 6 furlong in 1, 16.3. And on the 22nd of the 6th, 7 furlong in 1, 31. This is the horse I think they will all have to beat. Like I said, there are a few horses here with back class and can upset. But I'm going to stick with horse number 8, Sir John, to get the better of horse number 1, Easy Peasy. For third, horse number 2, Gilbert. Great Wayne, horse number 4, Anika Bell. Race can go either way, but I'm going to stick with Sir John. Moving on to race 2, restricted stakes, imported 3 years and up, numbers of 3, 6 furlong. We have a field of 6. I think this race was made special for supernatural power. I don't see anything in this race to beat supernatural power. This horse is very talented. Was beaten by Incredible Joe on the last 2 occasions. There is no Incredible Joe here. I think supernatural power has a simple task. I'm not going to waste much time. I think this is a nice double for Radish Roman. For your exactor, you can look for Bowmore, who I think is the better of the rest. For trifecta players, horse number 4, which is Turag. So I'm going to go with horse number 2, Supernatural Power, to get the better of horse number 5, Bowmore. For third, Riches Turags. Moving on to race number 3. It's a restricted allowance. 3 years and up, numbers of 2, imported, 3 years and up, maiden. 7 furlong. We have a field of 6. I think this race is very competitive. And this is one of the races that I'm going to go with all. Yes, I'm going to go with all. 1, Prince Kazir. 2, Nuclear Jet. 3, Enthusiasm. 4, Cost of Living. 5, Perfect Affair. 6, My Eclipse. Any one of these 6 horses can win this race. Prince Kazir. On the 14th of June, this horse finished third by 9 lengths when beaten by Danka and Margarita. On the last occasion, going 5 straight, 5th by 4 1/4 lengths when beaten by Miss Marbella and Brompton Boy. I think Prince Kazir needed a distance of ground. 7 furlong I think is the right trip for this horse, and I expect Prince Kazir to be banging when this is being decided. 2, Nuclear Jet, ran a very good race on last, third by 4 1/4 length when beaten by Lockdown, going 9 25. Trip now reduced to 7 furlong. I think Nuclear Jet will enjoy this 7 furlong gallop. On the 28th of the 6th, 7 furlong, strode 7 furlong in 1:38.4. Nuclear Jet is very fit, has a lot of scope for improvement. Radish Roman, once again, on a very live ride here. Look for Nuclear Jet to run a brave race. Horse number 3, Enthusiasm. Now, this is horse I think they all have to beat. After finishing third by 14 lengths behind Prolific Prince in the Guineas, this horse was flopped, you could say. Didn't raise a gallop. This horse finished 12 by 33 lengths in the Guineas. Didn't raise a gallop. I'm not sure what happened on that day. However, Enthusiasm came back on the 20th of June and ran second by a length and a half when beat by Woman in Love. Omar Walker maintains the ride. I think Enthusiasm is chair right now, and this is the horse I think is going to win this race. 4, Cost of Living, very fit. This horse ran some very useful race. Was in that same race with Woman in Love on last, slow into stride, ended up third by 5 1/2. Was seen making late gain. Cost of Living with Shane Richardson will run another decent race. Perfect Affair. I would say this horse did not enjoy the 9 and 25 on the last occasion. Finished 4th by 5 and when beaten by Lockdown and Alive. Omar Walker rode Perfect Affair on that day. You have no call for Wesley Henry. I think Perfect Affair will run a much improved race and could win this race also. 6. My Eclipse. On May 10th, 3rd by 2¼ length when beaten by another one and locked down. This horse looked promising on that day. Came back in the Guineas, didn't raise a gallop, 10 by 22 lengths when beaten by Sensational Soul. However, on the 29th of the 6th, 7 furlong in 132.3. This horse is reprogrammed. They have now replaced Nugent with Shane the Canterman Ellis. And I expect My Eclipse to run a much better race come Saturday. However, I'm going to stick with horse number 3, Enthusiasm, to get the better of horse number 1, Prince Kazir. My Eclipse, horse number 6, Nuclear Jet, Cost of Living, Perfect Affair. Like I said, I'm going to go with all the races. Not an easy one. Moving on to race number 4, Restricted Allowance 3, and NB 5 years and up. Non-reserve 4, imported 5 years and up. 7 furlong. This race, I'm going to go with 4 of them. 2, Strike Smart. 6, Princess Thalys. 7, Here Comes Doc. And also I'm going to throw Man Islam also. Now, Strike Smart. This horse, last time this horse ran was on 18th of January. We ended up 6 by 7 length. Beaten by Lady Habimala, Fly Blue Jet. It's coming off a break. This horse kept much better company than these. Radish Roman again. I think this is an easy assignment for Strike Smart. There's not much speed in this race. Strike Smart has a lot of speed, has pace. I expect Strike Smart to go to that lead and should hold off the challenges of the late closers. 6, Princess Thalys. This horse is void of early speed, but has a late kick and should be closing in deep stretch. 5, Man Islam is improving with each and every run. I expect Man Islam also with Richie Shakes to run another decent race. 7, Here Comes Doc. Was he making mild progress on the last 2 occasions? This horse is also lack of early speed, but should be closing in deep stretch. Ryan Lewis maintains ride for the 3rd consecutive occasion. However, I'm going to stick with horse number 2, Strike Smart. Although might need a run, but this horse has more class than these, more speed, more pace. So I'm going to go with horse number 2, Strike Smart, to get the better of horse number 7, Here Comes Doc. For 3rd, Princess Thalys, rounding off horse number 5, Man Islam. Moving on to race number 5, 3 years on up, optional claiming, 500 down to 400, 5.5 furlong. I have a field of 10. I'm going to go with 4 of them. 2, Lord of Ajalan. 6, Starmacom. 8, King Hair. 10, Rusty. Lord of Ajalan. Somewhat of a disappointment on last. 57 kilo, 9 by 60 length when beaten by Let Him Fly and Wilson. Throw that race through the window. Prior to that, this horse going 6 furlong on 3rd of May 1 by 2.5 length, beating Unruly Dude and Little Groovy Thing. Lord of Ajalan has pace, very fit. Anthony Hallin or Causa, Lord of Ajalan, I expect to run another good race. Star Macomb. No, this horse has tumbled down the claiming ladder. Last time this horse raced at the $1 million claiming company, 6 by 57 length, had no chance against Money Miser and Rani Bangala. On the 24th of May, 500,000 claiming, going 5 rounds, 4th by 7 length when beaten by So Beautiful and Duke of Springs. I think this is a much easier assignment for Star Macomb. Blinkers on, Philip Parchment, bustling Philip Cars on now. I think Star Macomb is the horse they will all have to beat. 8, King Here, very speedy. As a mishap on the last occasion when fell in that race, Magical Mode won that race, beating Fundamental. King Here was right up in the pace when that mishap took place. King Here is back. As long as that race doesn't affect King Here, Radish Roman again is called on, I expect King Here to be on the front end and should be fighting all the way through. 10, Rusty, very fit, game and consistent horse, was beaten by Rosa the Warrior on last. I think Rusty prefers the 5 straight, however, can ride the bend. Once the pins hold out, I think Rusty will be coming home in deep stretch and is good enough to win this race. However, I'm going to stick with horse number 6. Star Macomb was tumbled down the claiming ladder as a very bustling rider on board to get the better of horse number 10, Rusty. Then for 3rd, King Here, and for 4th, horse number 2, Lord of Ajalan. Moving on, race number 5. Moving on to race number 6. She was an optional claiming 350 down to 250. 5 furlong straight. This is a very tough race. A lot of suspect here. However, I'm going to boil this race down to 4 of them. 1, JJ the Striker. 11, Heroine. 12, Mini the Wack. 14, the Gifted One. JJ the Striker. This horse is knocking at the door. This horse very consistent. John post position 1. That's the only minus for me. However, this horse is very fit. Has some amount of speed. Have pace. Can tuck across, and I expect JJ's the Striker once again to run another brave race. Era Fire, horse number 11, Ryan Lewis, Stephen Todd. Very fit horse, very speedy. Last time out, 5th by 7.5, beaten by Sir Ganga Jamando. This horse led for the first 4 and then Wheaton. Era Fire is very speedy and is coming to run. Horse number 12, Midi the Wack. I tipped this horse on last, but I think Midi the Wack needed a run. Beaten by Phenomenal One on that day. Midi the Wack is back. Radish Romans picked up the ride now, replaces Devonay Thomas. A much improved run is expected here. The horse I think they will all have to beat is horse number 14, the Gifted One. Finally, this horse got a soft bunch, and I think Gifted One is very fit. I think this horse is sound enough. Last time out, this horse finished 2nd by 3.25 length when beaten by Phenomenal One. Anthony Fraser, the apprentice, maintains the ride for the 3rd consecutive occasion, and I expect the gifted one finally to put it across these. It's going to be a close race. However, I'm going to tip horse number 14, the gifted one, to get the bet of horse number 11, Hero of Fire. For third, Midi the Walk. And for fourth, horse number 1, JJ, the Striker. Moving on to race number 7, maiden special weight, 9 furlong and 25 yards. We have a field of 8. I'm going to boil this race down to 2 horse. 7th race is always a very tricky race, but I think the 2 US bred horse here, I think, are much better than the locals. And that's horse number 2, Princess Chris, and horse number 8, Ralph's Treasure. You also have 1000 Treasures, which is another US horse. We have Flag of Victory, which is a Canadian, and we have horse number 1, Quantum Star also. But I think Princess Chris and Ralph's Treasure are the better of this lot. Princess Chris, very consistent in her races, was beaten by some very useful horses such as Incredible Joe, Miss Grove. I think Princess Chris gets the right trip now. Richie Shakes calls on 50.5 kilo. Princess Chris should be right there. And on the outside, horse number 8, Ralph's Treasure. Ralph's Treasure has been running pretty useful races. Has a lot of scope for improvement. Shane Ellis now calls on once again. Figure 8 on. Colt versus the filly. I'm going to give the Colt the edge here. So I'm going to go with horse number 8, Ralph's Treasure, to get the better of horse number 2, Princess Chris, rounding off your trifecta, 1000 Treasures. Moving on to race number 8. It's an overnight allowance, 3 years and up, 6.5 furlong. I'm going to go with 3 of them. 1, Freedom Street. 4, Midnight Galaxy. 6, Major Danger. Freedom Street. Since trained by Jason DaCosta, this horse has developed a bad habit. Whipped around on the last 2 occasions. However, Freedom Street has a lot of potential. He's not doing badly. There's a nice work on the 23rd of the 6th, 4 in 47.2 by a minute 1. If the right Freedom Street turns up, Robert Halliday now calls on. I think Freedom Street could upset this race. Blinkers now on. Please note equipment change also. So they're trying everything to get Freedom Street just to settle and to get out of that gate. Once Freedom Street settle down, this horse will run a pretty decent race. 4, Midnight Galaxy. What can I say about this horse? This horse is very fit. This horse is improving with leaps and bounds. This horse continues to win races. Although stepped up to overnight allowance, I'm not going to leave Midnight Galaxy. I think this horse deserves a shot also. And if this horse is allowed to relax on that lead, Midnight Galaxy can cause some anxious moment. Therefore, I'm going to give Midnight Galaxy a shot at this race. And the horse I think they will all have to beat is horse number 6, Major Danger. This horse race amongst far superior horses than these, and I think Major Danger is the horse to beat here. 57 kilo. I don't think that should be much of a problem. And I'm going to stick with horse number 6, Major Danger, to get the better of horse number 1, Freedom Street. Horse number 4, Midnight Galaxy. To round off your trifecta with Chem, who is improving also. Major Danger, my firm selection. Moving on to race number 9. It's open allowance 3 years and up, 7.5 furlong. Have a field of 9. This is another race that you have to go deep. When I saw the overnight allowance, I said Run Julie Run is the horse to beat. But when I get the race book and I start to go through, I realize that the race is so competitive that I have to choose another horse over Run Julie Run. Like I said, this race is very competitive. This is one of the races that I'm going to go with all, honestly. But I'm going to go with the top 5. And my top 5 are 2, Fearless Soul, 3, Sheer Delight, 4, Desert of Malibu, 5, Unspun, and on the outside, horse number 9, Run Julie Run. Fearless Soul. This horse slowed to stride, ran a brave race on last when beaten by Legacy Isles. Although picked up some weight, 56 kilo, 7.5 furlong is the right trip for Fearless Soul. I think 5.5 was a bit too short. Fearless Soul will be flying at them in deep stretch. Sheer Delight is another horse that is very fit, very consistent, has raced amongst better horses and is working quite decent. 27th of the 6th, 3:37.3. Blinkers off. Omar Walker calls on again, replaces Wesley Henry. Sheer Delight is a very dangerous horse come Saturday. 4, Desert of Malibu. This is the horse that everybody's talking about. However, I don't think Desert of Malibu is the Desert of Malibu we knew some months ago. So I'm not gonna bank on this horse. British Roman is riding. He's riding like a man possessed. Desert of Malibu has a lot of ability, has a lot of class. Layman last. Nice to work on the 22nd of the 6th, 4:49. On the 29th of the 6th, 5:102. But there are a lot of horses here with a lot of ability also. So I'm not gonna stick my neck out with Desert of Malibu, but I'm gonna give this horse a shot. 5, Unspun. This is the horse that I like to win this race. This horse has been in the money. It's no worse than 3rd on the last, you could say, 9-10 occasions. Unspun is always there, fighting all the way. And look at the weight come Saturday, 49.5 kilo. This is the handicap horse in the race. Visor on. On the 21st of the 6th, 7 furlong in 1:31. On the 25th of the 6th, 6 furlong in 1:16. Richie Shakes. All you have to do is sit close to them, and I think Unspun is gonna pounce on them. And on the outside, horse number 9, Run Julie Run. It's very classy. There's a lot of speed. There's a lot of pace. Run Julie Run is a very dangerous animal. And like I said, this race is very competitive. However, I'm going to go with a little outer here. I'm going to choose Unspun to get the better of horse number 3, Sheer Delight. Then for 3rd, Desert of Malibu, Run Julie Run, Fearless Soul to be flying home. This race can go. Any one of these horses can win this race. So on my pick 6, I'm going to carry all. But these are the top 5 that I'm giving you. Closing out 10th and final. It's 5 furlong straight. Restricted non-race of 4. 4 is on up. I'm going to go with 4 of them. 6, undisclosed location. 7, bold move. 9, a breath of fresh air. 11, Galloping the Veloz. On this close location, ran poorly on last and ended up 11 by 12 lengths when beaten by Queen of Soul and J Speed. Reddish Roman again replaces the Cardenas. Enjoys galloping over the 5 straight course. I think on this close location is coming to run. Don't leave on this close location. Bold move. This horse tries to steal a march and last when caught by the general. He's back over the straight. Bold move. Should be in the front once again and will try to make all. It's a very dangerous horse. A breath of fresh air. This horse took a little break. He's back now, which he shakes again. Ran amongst much better horses, they're not too distant. On the last occasion, fought by a length, beaten by My Sunshine. Breath of fresh air is coming to run. Also was a nice little work on the 28th of the 6th, 3 furlong in 38.3. Look out for a breath of fresh air. Horse I think they will all have to beat now is horse number 11, Galloping the Veloz. This horse, on the last 2 occasions, you could say very disappointing. We expect much from Galloping the Veloz. However, I think this horse is reprogrammed. If you look at the work on Saturday 21st, 3:36.4. Visor off. Omar Walker replaces Shane Ellis. And I think Galloping the Veloz finally is going to put it across these. And as such, I'm going to go with horse number 11, Galloping the Veloz, to beat horse number 7, Bold Move. Horse number 9, A Breath of Fresh Air. Flying home, horse number 6, Undisclosed Location. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, Midnight Galaxy is a little outer. Continue to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Best of luck. See you at the races.